So you want to start a business in 2026? Congratulations, you need to watch this video. I'm about to break down the best and the worst businesses to start in 2026. Now, everything I'm saying is going to be backed by data. And for the best businesses to start in 2026, I'm going to be telling you what it is, who it's for, how it works, and how to get started. By the way, this video is sponsored by HubSpot. More on them later. I decided to treat you guys today and do some slides for this video. Let me know your thoughts on this format in the comment section because I think it's kind of cute. We're going to start off with one of the best businesses to start. This business is to launch a digital marketing agency. This one is close to my heart because I actually launched a social media marketing agency literally like 4 or 5 months ago. So your girl has some experience in this topic. For this idea in particular, I want you to have a niche focus because all of the business ideas that I'm suggesting today, they're beginner friendly. And if you want to release your own marketing agency, one of the best ways to get started as a beginner is to focus on a very specific type of client to service. So let's break it down. What is a digital marketing agency? Essentially, these agencies help businesses grow online. So your job would be to create social media content, maybe to write blogs, maybe you design websites, maybe you offer personal branding services, maybe you manage their overall marketing. Regardless of the type of service you're offering, your job is to help these businesses grow online by providing some kind of service. As I mentioned, the key to really thriving in this business idea as a beginner is to focus on one specific type of client. For example, maybe you want to do content marketing for real estate agents, or maybe you want to do personal branding for fitness coaches. Now, I'm not going to lie, I know I just said that I started my own social media marketing agency. Whilst I focused on one specific service, which is social media marketing, I didn't actually go with the niche approach when it comes to who I work with. But the reason why I didn't do that was because I already had an audience. I already had a lot of experience in social media marketing, and I have years and years of agency experience. So technically, I wouldn't position myself as like a beginner when it comes to launching a marketing agency. So that's the only reason why I didn't do the niche focus. If you're a beginner, niche focus is the way forward. Not only does it make it easier for you to become an expert in providing a specific type of service for a specific type of client, but it also makes it easier for you to get these clients. Because let me just paint you a picture to bring this to life. Let's say you're a fitness blogger and you need a personal branding agency. If an agency comes to you and they're like, hey, we offer personal branding services as well as social media marketing, email marketing, all this other stuff, and we offer it to everyone, you'd be like, oh, okay, I might consider working with you. Now, if someone else comes along and they're like, hey, we specialize in personal branding and we only work with fitness bloggers, who are you going to go with? You're going to go with the second option, right? Because they're so specifically talking to you and you'll feel like they are best positioned to actually help you reach your goals, right? So that's why having the niche focus is especially useful when you're a beginner to this business idea. So how does it work? Basically, you offer your creative services to help your clients get noticed and bring in more sales, and you either charge per project or as a monthly fee. Now, if I bring in some of my real world experience and even share some numbers with you, spitting the tea today. At the moment in my social media marketing agency, I have some project-based clients where we're working on a specific project. So maybe it's a series or maybe it's a launch for a product. And once that project is done, our relationship might wrap up and that will be it. And I also have clients who are on retainer. Now, at the moment, people are paying me anywhere between £4,000 to £20,000+ per month to service them and actually do this work for them. By the way, I have a full team. That's why some of those costs are so high. You're probably thinking, what? I'm just pocketing like all that money. No, there's multiple people as part of this agency who's helping me run it, right? Now, where the true value lies is when you can get those retainer clients. Because think of this, if you can get a client, even if they're initially working with you on like a project by project base, but you do such a great job that they then want to sign up to retain you and therefore pay you a certain fee every single month way into the future, that is incredible for you. That literally unlocks reoccurring revenue that you could mostly depend on. Obviously, anything could happen, but that is what's going to allow you to start investing in your company, hiring full-time staff, because you'll know how much money you can earn every single month. There aren't many business models which allow you to do that, so keep that in mind. Who's it best for? Mojo, what are you doing, my love? I'm filming in my office today. I think this is the first time I'm filming a long form in my office. And one thing you need to know about this space is that Mojo becomes feral in here. Feral. So if you hear her running around, she's currently trying to eat my slipper, just ignore it. I don't know what it is about this room. Mo, enough, please. Thank you. So who is this business idea best suited for? People who enjoy creating social media content, writing, designing, marketing, genuinely helping others look professional online. The thing about running an agency is that it's not about you, it's not about your own channels, it's about someone else's channels. So you have to really enjoy like servicing others in that way. Otherwise, you're not going to love the business model. So why is this one of the best businesses to start? Well, online marketing services like SEO and content creation are still growing, and they have been growing for a good few years now. And they're actually expected to reach over $100 billion globally over the next few years. So that's how much the industry will be worth. There is such a high demand for these services because more and more businesses are being launched every single day. And a lot of these business owners are quickly realizing that they don't have the skill or the time to do a lot of the marketing that comes with running a successful business. So there is an opportunity there. What I think is important to say though, as someone who's very submerged, is that the right word, in like agency land, there is a lot of talk at the minute which is saying that really big marketing agencies are struggling. A lot of them are making layoffs and a lot of them are financially struggling, and that's very much true. What we're seeing though is a trend and a shift towards more boutique agencies which are specialist and small, like the one that you're probably going to launch and like the one that I recently launched. So there's still a lot of opportunity there, and there are still a lot of small to medium-sized business owners who want to work with agencies who are never going to hire those huge agencies anyway. So don't let those news articles put you off. There's still demand. Let's talk about some pros and cons before we talk about the next business idea. So some pros for this one: massive demand at the moment. Almost every business needs some form of help online. You can also work solo or you can hire freelancers as you grow. So that's an important point. Obviously, I mentioned I have a team, but it's because I have 2 businesses now. So like obviously I need a team to run one of them or both of them, to be honest. That doesn't mean that you need a full team either. You could actually just be a solo freelancer, especially when you're getting started. So that actually means that you could start with like £0. Like it's very cheap. And also monthly clients mean predictable income, which is what I mentioned before. Some cons is that it's competitive, okay? Clients want some clear results. So if you're someone who doesn't love being held accountable, you're probably not going to love the agency model. Like you will set some clear goals, some KPIs, which stands for key performance indicators. You will set those when you start to work with these agencies. And it's basically your way of saying, hey, by month 6, guys, you don't even want to know how many times it just took me to say the number 6. By month 6, your Instagram channel is going to have a monthly average reach of 500,000. If you get to month 6 and that isn't the case, be ready for people to call you out on it. Like it is not for the faint-hearted. And another con is that you have to keep up with changing platforms like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, if you choose for social media to be the agency that you create. Even if you don't focus on social media content, maybe it's web design or personal branding, they're still going to expect you to be the expert in those areas. So a big part of your role is actually staying up to date with what's happening in your industry. So if you're sold on this business idea, let me give you 4 quick steps to help you get started. Step 1, if you want to launch your own agency, is that you need to choose a niche, such as marketing for fitness trainers. Step 2, you want to pick a main service that you're going to focus on. So maybe you're going to manage their social media channels. Maybe you're going to build them a website. Maybe you're going to manage their personal branding. Maybe you're going to do their email marketing. You then want to do a few free or discounted projects to build a portfolio. I'm like smiling to myself because some of you will be throwing things at the screen right now. I know we shouldn't have to work for free. I know. But when it comes to an agency model, people need to believe that you can actually do a good job. Like it's just that simple. So sometimes you have to do things for free. I did it with this agency, even though I literally have an audience and hopefully some credibility in the industry. So you might think that I wouldn't have needed to do that, but I needed to do that too, right? So we all got to do a bit of free discounted work at the start. And then step 4 is to post your best work and results on social media so people can see your style and they can consider to reach out to hire you. So those are the 4 easiest ways to get started with your own marketing agency as a beginner. Before we jump into another great business idea, let's talk about one of the worst business ideas. And we need to get this out there because I'm worried that maybe this is one of your ideas. So we need to make sure that you're not doing it. All right. So this bad business idea is generic subscription boxes. Hear me out. What is a generic subscription box? They're basically like monthly box products such as snacks, skincare, and small items that aren't very unique and can usually be found elsewhere. You might be getting mad at me for saying this. This is not like supposed to be disparaging. I always love to use words that I've never said out loud when a camera's in front of me. It's an odd choice. I think that's the right word though. Let's run with it. I don't want to put you off per se. I just want to make sure you have the information you need to make an informed decision as to whether or not this business is actually a good idea to start, right? The reason why I don't think this is a good business idea to start in 2026 is because people are canceling more subscriptions than ever. than ever. Have you guys heard those ads? There's a company that run a lot of podcast ads. Can't remember what it's called. And it basically sorts through all of your subscriptions and allows you to like cancel all of them at once. And it's so popular because more and more people are realizing that over the last few years, they have subscribed to far too many things. They need to get a handle on their finances and they're just doing this mass unsubscribing from so many services, right? So over 40% cancelled at least one in the past 6 months, according to Deloitte. That's a lot of people. In addition to this, advertising for your subscription box is quite difficult. Most people, especially beginners, need to rely on ads, which are quite expensive. So things like running ads on Instagram or Facebook, for example, it's pretty expensive now. So often it costs a lot of money to get new customers, especially when you're new. So that's your cost per acquisition, if we're going to put our marketing hats on, which basically means how much does it cost you to get every single customer. And actually for this type of business, the cost per acquisition is usually pretty high. In addition to this, customers quickly lose interest if the products are not unique or valuable. So a better idea, I'm not just going to like dump on this idea and then keep it moving. I'm going to give you a better one, right? Consider creating a refill or essentials subscription box brand, right? So something that people actually need every single month. Or you can consider selling one-time bundles rather than monthly boxes to help you build like long-term trust with your buyers. I know that means that you won't benefit from reoccurring revenue, which is the big draw of this type of business model, but it could work better in the current climate that we're in when it comes to how people are spending their money. Now, before we get to the rest of this list, let's talk about something huge for any businesses starting in 2026. AI. It's transforming how brands are connecting with consumers. But the question I ask is, are consumers actually ready for it? Now, if you're a marketer or a business leader and you're asking yourself the same question, then this free report from HubSpot and SurveyMonkey is for you. It's called How Brands Are Earning Loyalty in an Automated World. And it reveals the growing divide between business innovation and consumer confidence. And it also talks about how leading brands are closing that gap. They surveyed 1,800 business leaders and 15,000 consumers across 7 global markets to uncover what it takes to build an AI-powered business that consumers can actually trust. When I was going through this report, I got a huge reality check. When I say there is an AI trust gap, like it's actually insane. The report found that 75% of business leaders say that AI is critical, whilst only 19% of consumers actually feel excited by it. And to add to that, right, over 80% of consumers still prefer human support, which I totally relate to. This brings up a very important question. Are the changes you're making actually serving your customers? Brands that manage to balance automation with authenticity are the ones that are going to win when it comes to long-term loyalty. My favorite part of this report is that it gives away best practices of what to actually do with this information. So by the end, you should know how to build loyalty with your customers. Check out the free report in the description box below. Thanks so much to HubSpot and SurveyMonkey for sponsoring this video. All right, let's move on to the next fantastic business idea for 2026. This business idea is quite fittingly about AI. So the idea is to become an AI and automation consultant. Now, you probably heard that and thought, Jade, what are you talking about, girl? Let me explain what this is, okay? So what is an AI and automation consultant? Basically, your job would be to help small and medium businesses use tools like ChatGPT plus other automation software to save time and make more money. For example, you might be required to set up an automated customer reply or a system or like automated reports, or maybe you just help a business adopt AI tools in general, right? This is such a growing like business area or trend. It's insane. Because if you think about it, as I said before, there are so many new businesses entering the market. There are also so many AI tools entering the market, and it is incredibly overwhelming. And most business owners who aren't tech savvy do not have the time or the brain space to try all these tools, figure out which one is best for them, and then to like fully integrate their business into them. It's so difficult. I'm speaking from personal experience. I consider myself to be tech savvy, yet I still think that I would benefit from hiring someone for this service. So how does it work? You would speak to businesses and you would figure out where they waste the most time, and then you would set up an automated system that would handle all of those tasks. So you would charge for the setup, but you could also offer like monthly plans to keep things running, right? This is best for anyone who likes solving problems and figuring out an easier way to do things. I could say that like this is only good for people who know how to use AI and who are proficient in these AI tools, but that seems kind of obvious. I think if you're someone who enjoys solving problems, that's honestly the most important part. But you can obviously upskill yourself and learn how to use all these tools afterwards. So why does it work? About 70% of customers are already using AI in some part of their business, right? In addition to this, companies are expected to spend over 1.5 trillion globally on AI tools. Sorry, I know I did all the prep for this, but now that I'm reading it and I'm like, $1.5 trillion globally on AI tools and services. Is that right? Again, I know I'm the one I literally created all these slides and I did all this myself, so I don't know why. I think when I first saw that, I thought it said billion, and now I'm like, a trillion is a lot of money. Maybe I should start this business. No, kidding. All right, some pros and cons. High profit per project. As we just established, people are willing to spend a lot of money on this service, so you can actually charge premium amounts. Like you could do a project for a brand and charge them 50 to 100K for it. I've literally seen it happen. You can work from home and you can work with global clients, and also businesses often need ongoing help. So actually you can get something which is called a retainer, which is what allows you to continuously work with a business and continuously earn an income every single month from them. The cons though is that you need to keep learning because, oh my God, if we thought that social media changed quickly, AI, I don't even know. I feel like I just got tongue-tied. You would need to become such an expert in this topic. And in order to be an expert in this topic, you would literally need to study it every single day. And then also your results will depend on how well your clients actually adapt to these new systems. So if you get a retainer with them, so you can work with them monthly, then hopefully their results will be good because you'll be able to ensure that they're actually, using these new tools. But if you don't, then their results would vary because if they don't use the things that you taught them, then they're not going to get good results. And that means you won't get good testimonials and everything else doesn't go down the drain, but it's not where you want to be. How do you get started then? Step 1, pick a problem that businesses struggle with. So handling customer messages, scheduling social posts, etc., and then learn how to automate it. You then want to build a small example showing how your systems save time or money. So you want to make sure it's really tangible and easy for your future clients to understand how you could help them. Then offer a test project. I know I'm telling you to work for free again. I'm so sorry. But just offer a test project to 1 or 2 businesses, and then you can use their stories as proof and you can get some testimonials. And then you can turn that project into repeatable service that can offer you more and more clients. So I love when I go through these steps, I purposely try to make them seem really simple. And as I present them, I'm like, yeah, these are pretty simple steps, but that's perfect because this video is for beginners. So this is the easy way to get started with this business idea. Should we talk about a bad business idea now? Let's bring the tone down a bit. This next bad business idea that I don't want you to start is to start your own print newspaper or magazine. I feel so nervous every time I talk about the bad business ideas because I'm sure I'm like stomping on someone's dream here, but bear with me. What this basically involves is starting a printed newspaper or magazine that usually relies on ads or physical sales to make money. So if you didn't know this already, most magazines make majority of their income through the ads that they sell inside the magazine. They also make some income from the sales from the magazine, but most of it's from the ads, which means you actually need a lot of people to buy your magazine so that you can charge a premium for the ads that you're putting in your magazine, right? And this is where the problem lies. Over 70% of people now get their news online, according to Ofcom. It's a lot of people. In addition to this, print ad income has actually dropped from $49 billion in 2005 to now sitting under $10 billion. I know that's still a lot of money, but you have to also remember that there are a handful of magazine titles that are like legacy titles that are taking majority of that money. And it's very difficult to claw some of that from them. And in addition to this, printing and distribution are actually very expensive and young readers rarely buy print. Of course, there are going to be anomalies to all of these bad business ideas. There'll be someone out there who will comment being like, oh, my cousin actually started a magazine and is now a billionaire. And to that, I say congratulations, because that was a very difficult thing for them to achieve. So we're talking about best businesses for beginners here. This is one of the hardest businesses you can start as a beginner. A better idea is to start a digital newsletter or a blog or a podcast or maybe even a YouTube channel. Build your audience online and then you can make your money through ads, through sponsorships, through paid memberships. I mean, if you want to learn more about that, then I'll link to one of my videos up here, but I have so many videos about this topic. There are so many ways that you could build an audience online for hardly any money. It's not the wise decision to ignore those methods and to focus on print instead. That's just not something I would recommend. All right, let's inject some positivity back into this video and talk about my final best business for you to start in 2026. And this business is online education / short skills bootcamps. Now, you might be thinking you've heard of this business idea before, but I want you to stick with me because I want to explain the way of doing this that's going to work the best in 2026 because it has changed. So first of all, what is it? Essentially, this business idea involves you creating short online programs that teach people valuable skills like how to start freelancing, how to build a portfolio, how to use AI tools effectively. etc., etc. And you want to think of it like a small hands-on class that helps people get a clear result. Now, you might be thinking, girl, are you just saying to start a course? And kind of, but not really, because the way courses used to sell back in like 2021, that's just not a thing anymore. We have to adapt slightly. So how does this actually work? You would essentially teach a skill through video lessons or live lessons. And within these lessons, you would guide people step by step and help them achieve something very specific by the end. That's very important that the end result is specific. It's best for people who actually enjoy teaching, because if you don't, it's just not a pleasant experience. And also your students can kind of pick up on the vibe that you don't actually love what you're doing. So if you enjoy teaching, you enjoy breaking things down, you enjoy helping others learn new skills, then this could be for you. You might also be thinking, isn't it only for people who also have one of the skills that I mentioned, like how to start freelancing or building a portfolio? I can confidently say that every single person watching this video will have a skill that someone else wants to learn. It's just the fact that we're so used to having certain skills that we forget that others don't have that skill and that people would potentially want it. The reason why this works in 2026 is because the World Economic Forum has said that 40% of job skills will change by 2030. And that means that people are constantly needing to learn new things. In addition to this, AI and tech are moving fast. We've already established that in this video. So more people are actually turning to small, focused online programs. And that is the bit that I think is important to stress here. We're not talking about your standard online courses that used to thrive a few years ago. I actually think if you want to do this in 2026, you should focus on the live element and the small element as much as possible. Because people can get a lot of their questions answered using like ChatGPT or using AI, having a live component as part of your bootcamp is what's going to differentiate you from someone being able to use AI or ChatGPT. Like that's what people will buy into. So some pros and cons to this. Pros, you can build once and you can sell again and again and again. Even if there's a live component to it, you just have to do the live bits again. People love learning from real humans, not just AI. And you can build a loyal community of learners, which is always very fulfilling. Take it from me, I have done this before. Cons, as I mentioned, you'll probably need to teach some live sessions or some semi-live sessions to stand out from AI. And you're also going to need to grow an audience and do a bit of marketing. It's not just gonna fly off the shelves straight away. If you're wondering how you're gonna do that, stick with me because I'm about to break down the 4 steps to follow in order to get started. So first of all, pick a skill that you know well. For example, maybe you can help people organize their business or their personal brand online. Think about what you do in your job and think about those skills that you acquired through your job and think about who might benefit from those skills. I then want you to focus on one clear outcome that someone can achieve with that skill. And then I want you to map out every single step that someone needs to take in order to reach that outcome, right? So for example, if I was teaching creators how to, I'm so bad at thinking of ideas on the spot. If I was teaching creators how to work with brands, I would map out every single step that they need to follow in order to get that first brand partnership. And that's actually what I've done in the past for like previous things that I've sold, mapped out every single step, right? What you then want to do is look at those steps and pick a few that you can teach people publicly. So if we take my example, one part of working with brands is going to be pitching. So I actually have a lot of content already where I teach people how to pitch. That's my way of creating valuable content to someone who I know will benefit from my bootcamp or my course or whatever you want to call it, and teaching them something that's going to give them a small win. I'm not teaching the entire process step by step, but I am teaching them something that's going to help them in some way. This will help you build trust. It will help you gain an audience. It's one of the best ways to start marketing yourself. And then I want you to use a simple platform like Teachable, for example, but there are so many good ones out there, to actually turn your full step-by-step process into a program, complete with resources, live coaching sessions, whatever people need in order to reach that end goal. And that is the thing that you're going to sell to the social media audience that you're building through your free content. Should we finish off on a negative note? Not usually something that I'd like to do, but in this case, I think it makes sense. We're going to finish off with the final business idea that I just quite simply do not recommend. And it's a good old-fashioned one, a regular retail store. I know I'm going to get hate for this because there are some people who like stan the high street, and I hear you. I love you for it, but just keep with me. What this is opening a local shop that sells clothes, gifts, everyday items, and which solely depends on foot traffic to get sales. This is an important distinction. If you open a physical store and you have an incredible online audience, then you might be able to make this work. If you are only opening a physical store, you have no plans to build an online audience, and you're just hoping that people are going to walk past your store, see your beautiful window design, go in and spend £1,000, you might be in trouble. Now, it doesn't work for a bunch of reasons. A few of them is that more than a quarter of all sales now happen online, which is crazy. Over 13,000 stores closed in 2024. That's so sad. and there's even more expected to shut down throughout the rest of 2025. Rent, staff, bills, expensive, profits are often very, very small. A better idea is to start online first. Notice I said first. I'm not saying don't do this at all. I'm just saying start online first, right? This way you'll be able to test your product with a simple online store like Shopify is one of the best stores to use if you're selling a product, or through TikTok or even Instagram before paying for rent and shop staff and all those other things. And that's it, guys. Those are the best and the worst businesses to start in 2025. Do not forget to give me feedback on this format with the slides in the comment section so I know whether or not you want me to do something similar in the future. If you feel like hanging around, I recommend watching this video. It's a full tutorial of how you can start your email list from scratch and grow an audience from zero. Very important video to watch for anyone who's starting a business. You will need an email list. Do not forget that you can get access to HubSpot's free report, which is all about how brands are earning loyalty in an automated world. Head to the link in my description to get your hands on this report. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I can't wait to see you in my next video.